Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block. I'm here for another Healthy House tip this week to go along with the blog post. And this week, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about disinfecting cleaners. So this was a huge thing in our house when we started switching. I mean, we used to be kind of like in that Lysol wipe camp where everything was just wiped down with a Lysol wipe to make sure that it was like sanitary and there was nothing on it. And as my kids were born and they got older, I started realizing how awful these were to use. And so I started researching what we could use at home that was going to be safe for my kids, but also disinfect, because there are times that I want surfaces disinfected. I am not a disinfect every time I clean the counters person, but if it's something where we have like a raw meat or, we're like unloading groceries and grocery bags are sitting on my counters, then I go through and things get disinfected just because there's a time and a place for it. It's not all the time. We don't need to be using antibacterial every single minute of every day, but there is a time and a place for it. So today I want to talk to you guys about that. This came up a lot at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were trying to figure out what could we clean our surfaces with that would kill this virus if that's how it was being spread. And at the time we were kind of unsure, what we should do. We just wanted to be as safe as possible. And so you could find a list of cleaners on the EPA's website. I have it linked in this week's blog post, and it's very helpful, but what you have to be careful of is a lot of these cleaners are chock full of chemicals. They have toxins, fragrances, things that we don't want in our home. So while it's a helpful list, it is not 100% safe for us to use in our home. And so I went through and found two cleaners, that one of which I use most of the time in my home when I need to disinfect something. But they're two amazing cleaners. They are natural disinfectants, and they kill the COVID-19 virus as well as other bacteria and viruses in your home, if that's the type of cleaner that you're looking for. A lot of times we see these being used in like bathrooms, especially like around cold and flu season, and they're nice to have when you want to like wipe off a doorknob or a light switch that you just feel like needs to be cleaned after maybe someone's been sick in your house. Or like I said, we use it a lot in the kitchen if we're cooking or we're like preparing raw meat, or we've put everything on the counter from the grocery store. So I have those two cleaners in this week's blog post, and you can just follow the link and it will bring you right to them. And then I'm also sharing with you guys a couple recipes that you can actually make at home if you're comfortable using cleaners that you make your own. These are great and they're good for disinfecting surfaces. I have a bunch of studies for you guys on what natural elements will actually disinfect. So some of them are like botanical elements, some of them are like essential oils, some of them like rubbing alcohol, things like that. So I have a list, and then I've got studies for you guys on each one of these. So I don't know how you work, but I generally like to see something backing this up. And so I've shared with you those studies. And so if you have someone in your house who just is like, no, that's not going to work to disinfect, you could bring up the studies or the research that's been done that I'm sharing if you wanted. You don't have to, but sometimes I find that helpful when I'm trying to, change something in my house to be a little bit more natural compared to like what we have been using. And then I'm also sharing with you guys some studies on why things like chemical disinfectants and chemical antibacterials are really not safe for your home, and why we don't want to use them, along with the studies and research that go with them. So I have that for you guys in this week's blog post. I'm going to share with you a couple slides that will talk about some of the benefits of natural disinfectants, and it's kind of like a quick view summary of this week's blog post for you. So I'm going to share that, and I will be back again next week with another blog post and another video. I hope you guys have a good week.